Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on my video. This is Rocky here with my top moments from episode 12 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Gonna go ahead and just jump right into what I enjoyed about the episode. Number 4 top moment, I really enjoyed seeing Eddie McClintock in this episode. He played the part of the Kree Vin-Tak. He previously was in Warehouse 13, which was a series I very much enjoyed and thought he brought a lot to that show. And, he did bring a lot to this episode, I thought, as well. It seems they definitely tried to incorporate some of his more comedic tendencies, but for the most part, they kept his character pretty straight, pretty serious throughout. Through Vin-Tak, we receive a bit more information about the Kree experiments on Earth, as the Kree consider these people or these experiments as basically failed weapons. They supposedly shut down all experiments, but as we've seen, that's definitely not the case. In the comics, the Kree kind of stopped their experiments as they feared a prophecy stating that one of these weapons they created would eventually destroy their leader. In the show, Vin-Tak was alerted to the activation of a Terrigen Crystal and came to basically neutralize the diviners and all potential weapons. Like I said, Eddie McClintock, great actor, brought a lot to the show. Definitely enjoyed his moments with our agents as well as his moments with S.H.I.E.L.D, though honestly his little trudging weapon was a little bit sad, a little tiny hammer. I was hoping you'd get, a little bit more of a weapon, but yeah, Eddie McClintock did a great job, I thought, in the episode. My number 3 top moment, they once again tease us with a bit more information about the Bobbi and Mack conspiracy. From their conversations, it seems that Mack might actually be kind of a higher rank than Bobbi, as he kind of shut her down right away when she suggested bringing Hunter into the fold, as Mack had previously asked her that in another episode, and she didn't really trust him at that time with it, so he's just thinking, why trust him now, kind of thing. Plus, he tells her to actually cut off the relationship with Hunter, as he's fearful of what might happen when they put their plan into motion, or quote unquote pull the triggers, he stated in the episode. Plus, I'm wondering about what backup Bobbi was referring to, considering they were fighting a Kree. At any rate, based on the post-show scene, I get the feeling we're definitely going to find a lot more next week, because by knocking out Hunter obviously is going to remember this happening, so there's going to be some kind of fallout in the next episode with that. But yeah, still at this point, not sure exactly what their story is, whether they are part of S.H.I.E.L.D or some other, internal organization within S.H.I.E.L.D that's kind of making a play. Either way, they're going after that box, and within that box, like I said previously, is, pretty much all the information about S.H.I.E.L.D, but it also has files on all the people that have basically been experimented on by S.H.I.E.L.D as well as Hydra, quote unquote, these people with powers, right? So yeah, so next week, hopefully we'll get a bit more information about what's going on with Bobbi and Mack. Number 2. S.H.I.E.L.D is back, and I really like what Jamie Alexander brings to the show, as it gives us a chance to learn a lot more about S.H.I.E.L.D and see her as more of a humanized character as opposed to this warrior woman that's kind of always in the background of the Thor movies. She definitely seems to have a crush on Thor, and I thought that scene was handled beautifully. We learned that the Asgardians strongly distrust the Kree. This is kind of a sentiment that is shared by many of the alien races within the Marvel comics, due to just the amount of experimentation that Krees do, as well as their kind of xenophobic tendencies. Though sadly, the one thing they were kind of building for did not happen. I so wanted some May on Sif action. They teased that fight might happen towards the end, but we just didn't get that payoff. So, maybe later on we'll see some May on Sif action. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was just something, it seemed like they were building towards that at the end, but, kind of fell flat, I thought. My number 1 top moment of the episode, all the Sky scenes were great in this episode. She is constantly trying to hide what's going on with her, but the more she tries to hide and hold all of that in, the more her powers are erupting. So it definitely seems that control of her emotions is what's going to lead to the control of her powers. This is something that's shared with a lot of different characters in comics, but it's not always the case that, their emotional state is tied to their powers. Plus, now that it's basically out in the open, we get to see, basically who everyone really is, right, towards her. Sif originally wanted to take her to Asgard, but after seeing that Sky was willing to sacrifice herself, Sif now gets the feeling that she can be trusted with these powers. Coulson never wavered in his desire to protect Sky, even though he knows the trouble it's going to bring. May wants to help her, but she has her own doubts. Though honestly, knowing May, she's never going to let Sky see those doubts expressed on her face or in her voice, emotions, anything like that. May's very good about keeping everything internal. Fitz, of course, just wants to help his friend. He's really kind of turning into that, sweetheart character on the show. I mean, he wants to take care of his friend so badly, and he gets so frustrated because of what's going on with his mental state, and the fact that he can't do everything that he used to be able to, but he's getting back to that point where he's able to do more, contribute more. But yeah, he just really wants to protect Skye. He doesn't want anything to happen to her. And again, like I said, I thought that came across very sweet with his character. Simmons is hurt that Fitz, basically lied to her, and she tries to play it off that she would not have reacted harshly towards Skye. But she's been acting all Wicked Witch-like. She's practically, screaming, "I'm gonna get you, my Inhumans, and kill you all too," kind of thing. And it's just, natural reaction by Fitz is, no, I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want anything to happen to Skye. Mack, Bobbi, and Hunter are all scared, and they're mad that Fitz didn't tell them because they're like, we deserve to know the truth, we deserve to know a warning, and they think they need protection from Skye. Which is funny considering, Bobbi and Mack have their own little thing going on behind the scenes, and they're basically lying to everyone, but yet they're mad because Fitz didn't tell them. So, yeah, like I said, tons of tension going on, going to continue to build, and it's going to eventually explode. Now, Skye, of course, hears some of this, and she has such a look of hurt on her face, but there's also a slight bit of anger. She willingly shot herself with one of the night-night guns, as well as she's voluntarily confining herself to protect her team or her family. Because, like we've seen in the previous season, Skye basically has no family. Yeah, she has a biological father, but he hasn't really been in her life at all, so she's never had those connections until she became part of this S.H.I.E.L.D. team, where everyone's kind of taking on some type of family role for her. Coulson's basically her father figure. May's kind of her mother / big sister kind of feelings. And, like I said, this is her family, and her family's basically saying, we don't trust you. And she's hearing that. And like I said, Chloe Bennet is she's growing so much in her acting, and just the emotions she's had to express in the last 2 episodes is just crazy. But yeah, in that scene, she's walking away, she voluntarily confines herself, but, in her mind, she's got to be replaying those words that they said, right? And that's just going to, continue to build, anger inside of her. And again, like I said, something's going to explode at some point. So honestly, to me, the rest of the team kind of acting that way, especially Bobbi and Mack, they just come across as big whiners to me. So yeah, hopefully they'll kind of team up and get behind Skye and work towards protecting her and helping her to learn about her powers and everything like that. So my final thoughts for this episode. While last week's episode was really good, I thought this week's was way, way better. We were able to see some Kree on Asgardian action, as well as Skye's powers are revealed to her team. The reactions varied quite a bit. We are definitely going to see the tension meter continue to rise on this show and eventually, like I said, explode. It's just going to erupt into something. Like I've said previously, it seems like they're kind of using this as kind of a precursor to the Civil War arc, or at least exploring those ideas within the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. The team learns that there's more diviners out there. In fact, it looked like there were 6 missing in the case, so we know one's been destroyed basically, so there's still 5 more diviners out there. So this means, definitely more Inhumans to deal with, but how are they going to deal with them? Like I've said, Skye's basically seems like she's going to kind of be that bridge between S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Inhumans. At least that's the way I hope they're going to play it out. I don't want them to try and present the Inhumans as like this villain group. I want them to present them as just a separate group that hopefully will be able to work with S.H.I.E.L.D. or at least be on friendly terms with them. And again, I think that's all going to kind of center around Skye as well as with Raina. Looks like in the next episode, Skye will begin to kind of learn about her abilities and hopefully start accepting her powers. Plus, it looks like her daddy is starting up a supervillain team, which makes me wonder if he's also started to experiment on himself. Are we going to see some actual Mr. Hyde moments? I don't know, and I don't necessarily think that this group he's assembling are going to be Inhumans. I'm guessing these are going to be people that have been experimented on by either Hydra or S.H.I.E.L.D. or both. So their powers could have developed naturally somehow or through just this experimentation. That's the feeling I'm getting. I don't necessarily think they're going to be Inhumans, because again, I don't think they're going to try and present Inhumans as villains. But we'll just have to see in this next episode. So all in all, I thought this was an amazing episode. I really enjoyed it, and I love the direction they're taking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite part of the episode was, and if you have any questions on any of the characters or any of the ideas brought up in the episode, go and put those down in the comments below as well. I'll be happy to go over that information with you. If you've enjoyed my video, I'd ask you to go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That way you can receive an alert when I post my next Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video, as well as the other Marvel and DC videos I'm doing at this time. And if you have gone ahead and subscribed already, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming aboard, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. Alright guys, all that being said, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day now. Bye.